Hello and welcome to another episode. This is the AMG Lounge, I'm G, and this is the all-new Mercedes. All new. It's not all new really, is it? Again. Hello and welcome to another episode. This is the AMG Lounge, I'm G, and this is the new Mercedes. It's not a new, no, again. Welcome to another episode. This is the AMG Lounge, I'm G, and this is the facelifted I can't help but feel it's more than just a facelift. One more. Episode Lounge G E-Class. Enjoy. Miles on the clock, brand new. Smells new. Right, let's go. In all seriousness though, the design of the new E-Class is a very interesting topic. It seems gone are the days where a facelift would generally consist of some very small and very subtle changes during the mid part of the car's production life cycle. Think of it as a midlife crisis nip tuck, just a little rejuvenation exercise, if you will. It seems now is an opportunity to really revamp the design, so much so that it's almost like a brand new car, or at least it seems from the face of it. If you look really carefully, it's actually a really clever bit of design. You look at the headlights, you look at the grille and the bumper in it, it's transformed into a completely different looking car. If you look at the corners of the headlights where the wing meets the headlight, if you look at both this one and the outgoing model, that part is actually the same. So if you just look here on the corner here and then compare it to the corner on the older car, you can see that part is the same. In fact, if we go behind the cars, you can see it a little bit more from this angle. They look identical. This part's remained the same, and then you zoom out and it looks completely different. So in a really clever way, they've changed the whole look of the car without changing too much of the structure of the vehicle, if that makes sense. Before we go any further, in this video we're going to be talking very briefly on the future of vehicles. We'll go into a review about this car in particular, in terms of what it's all about, what you can expect to achieve out of the hybrid technology, and we'll also talk a little bit about some tips and useful information that may help you transition from your combustion engine into plug-in hybrid or fully electric vehicles. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Tell me a joke.
Why don't oysters give to charity? Because they are shellfish.
So we have brand new headlights at the front, we have brand new tail lights at the back, a redesigned grille at the front, and now the conversation-provoking new steering wheel is also present in here as well. This is my first experience with it. It definitely feels thicker just around here, and the paddle shifts. It's definitely chunkier. It's very comfortable, it's very ergonomic. Do I prefer it to the old one? I don't know yet, too soon still. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about the controls later on in the video. Although from the outside it looks like a completely new car, in here it's a lot familiar to the outgoing model. The touchpad here is new, and now it has the latest operating software by MB, which is MBUX. So for the first time in the E-Class, hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Can be found. Mercedes-Benz have got the interior lineup pretty much spot on, and just like some of the other cars that we've reviewed lately, it's a very nice place to be. Screens are very informative, very clear and crisp. You've got 64 colour ambient lighting. It's comfortable, it's refined, the materials are nice, it's really quiet in here. Lots of storage, you've got a cup holder here, you've got big enough door bin, you've got 2 additional cup holders here plus your wireless charging, and in here you've got a cubby hole with 2 additional USB Type-C connectors. You've also got one here, and you've got a 12-volt adapter as well. So lots of powering options. Special thanks to VERTU Mercedes-Benz for loaning us this vehicle. This is a current demonstrator at Mercedes-Benz in Slough, so if you are interested in this particular vehicle, I'll leave the phone number to them in the description box down below. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
Can you tell me another joke?
Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 ain't 9.
Yeah, very good. Now this particular vehicle is the top of the range version in that it has the Premium Plus package, and it's the petrol version of the plug-in hybrid. So you might be already aware that you can get a 300DE, which is the diesel plug-in hybrid, which historically that's what these cars have always been. Petrols were always a rarity. So let's understand why I'm in this vehicle. Bojo has recently announced that by 2030, cars and vans that are wholly powered by diesel or petrol will be banned from the UK. I assume he means the sale of said vehicles, not banish the ones that are already on the road completely, although with politicians you never know. Firstly, judging by the quite frankly abysmal charging infrastructure in the UK, 10 years from now seems awfully ambitious, speaking from personal experience. Not to mention the £4 billion money that's been set aside for this 10-step project. Now, I'm no economist, but £4 billion doesn't quite sound enough to change the whole landscape of motoring as we know it. There are so many questions. What does that mean for people that live in, multi-story flats that, have 30 houses in them? Does that mean there's going to be 30 charging points in the car park? Or will plug-in hybrids or electric vehicles be more affordable then? Will it be more accessible for people? How much quicker will charging times get in 10 years' time? Will there be sufficient charging points for everyone? What if you do 30, 35,000 miles a year? Will all streets have charging points in the lampposts? You get my point. But whatever happens, I think it's safe to concede the fact that electric will have a massive part to play in the future of cars over the next few years. In my opinion, it's more important now more than ever to embrace the change and get even a very basic understanding of how plug-in hybrids and how electric vehicles work and operate. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Can you tell me another joke?
Sorry, my engineers were German.
Right, a little bit more about this car in particular. This is the E300e. It's a 1.991cc petrol engine to be exact, 4-cylinder, developing 211 brake horsepower. Mated to that is the EQ battery, which is a 90 kilowatt battery, and that develops a further 122 horsepower. The combined power that's available to you is 320, not the 333 that they amount to. You also have a 9-speed automatic gearbox across the whole range. Get this, it has a 0 to 62 mile an hour time of 5.7 seconds. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's quite impressive by any measure. As far as charge times go, it's pretty much business as usual. From a domestic wall socket, you can expect a charge time of around 5 hours, from 10% to 100%. And from a wall box, it's more like an hour and a half to 2 hours. But I'm just in the trip computer now, just trying to see what sort of consumption I'm getting. Well, there's a lot of information here. I don't know. Where's my MPG? Oh, right, okay, so I've done 15 miles since leaving the showroom. I've only been driving on electric, apparently. What? I'm gonna have to make a call. Hello, Attila.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good mate. New E300e, not DE, the
Yeah.
E, the petrol plug-in hybrid.
Yes.
So I was looking at the brochure last night. It was saying on the brochure that I've got a top speed of 30 mile an hour, but I'm currently doing 60.
That's a typo. Where is it? You should have 87, by the way, on that one. So the top speed in electric mode in an E-Class is around 87 mile an hour.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not 30, because at the moment I'm doing 62. Is the brochure wrong, or...?
Yes, 100%, and thank you for letting me know, because I'm going to tell
You tell MB.
MB now. Yeah, they're definitely wrong.
Cool.
I'll let you know what they say.
Thank you very much. I was doing the scripting last night. I was looking through the brochure, getting all the data together, and the top speed had like 30-40 miles, which is what I've scripted, which is what I was about to tell you, but then I noticed that I'm doing about 60 on fully electric, so. Hey guys, Future G here. So it turns out there was a bit of a typo in the brochure. It stated that you can only do about 30 miles an hour on electric mode only. After confirming with MB, you can do up to about 87 miles an hour on electric only. So depending on when you're looking at the brochure, it might have been corrected, but you can definitely do more than 30 miles an hour on electric. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
I love you.
Was it love at first ride?
Very good. I think what's important to know as well, if you are thinking about going to hybrid, maybe not so much for electric, but if you are planning on going to hybrid, you can literally go from whatever you're driving now to a hybrid and never think that you've changed into something different altogether. You can get into this, you can start it, and you can just drive. You don't have to worry about selecting what mode to drive in. You know, your default setting will be comfort, so the car will just do what it does. It will go between battery and petrol, and if you've got the radio or your music on, honestly, you won't know what's happening under there. You'll just drive it as you would any other car. So from that point of view, it's very familiar. Hey Mercedes.
What can I do for you?
Tell me a joke.
Why should you never eat the clock? It's too time consuming.
If you are enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel as well. There's always more content coming soon. If you are on Instagram as well, at the AMG Lounge, go follow us on there as well. Mercedes-Benz are offering their vehicles at the moment primarily with 3 different equipment lines. One's the standard or executive, the other's premium, and you can go for a range topping premium plus, and there are a few other options like the exclusive editions that you get in the GLA and some AMG night editions, also known as night packs. There are also some standalone options such as the driving assistance package, which you can have on one of these as well. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
Please turn my heated seat on.
I'm switching on the seat heating.
This being the Premium Plus, we've got the electronic panoramic glass sunroof, we've got heated electric seats, we've got the upgraded sound system, keyless entry, keyless go, powered boot, multi-beam LEDs, and also 360 camera. And this being the plug-in hybrid, you of course get the radar-based recuperation as standard also. Geezer's dancing away. You have a choice of 10 colours to choose from. They've also introduced the graphite grey and the new high-tech silver. Also have a choice of 3 colours for the interior, which is the black that you see before you, the brown and the beige. Now normally in this package with these extras you would get the 20-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels, but this being the hybrid, unfortunately carries a little bit more weight, almost 300 kilograms in fact. So for that reason they're swapped out for the 18-inch version, which I assume it's because it just needs a bit more rubber to carry the weight, but also so the ride isn't compromised, because you can't have that in a Mercedes. You can't have compromised ride. It's a Mercedes. Not only do you have to make some accommodation for the extra weight, but as well the space. So because of the batteries, you have a smaller fuel tank, between 6 to 10 litres smaller than some of the other variants. However, the area that suffers the most in this car is actually the boot size, 140 litres in fact. So here you go guys, this is what the boot looks like. Still probably just as deep, but you've got this sort of shelf if you like, which does okay, you know. I've got a small briefcase in there, all the charge cables, another bag, no problem. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
Tell me a joke.
Why did the tomato blush? Because it saw the salad dressing.
Very good. To give you guys a little bit of a snapshot in terms of what I'm achieving, I've done about 30 miles. I've averaged 13 miles an hour. I've run out of battery power, so I'm just running on normal combustion engine alone, and I'm at 54.3 miles to the gallon. So I've just left it on autopilot, if you like, in terms of switching from combustion to electric, and I got 53.3. Now I think if I was really frugal with it and really conscious of getting as much MPG out of it as I possibly could, maybe mid 60s, 70s might be possible based on this driving. Now I'm going to throw a spanner into the works because a colleague of mine has the E300e and he's gotten over 130 miles to the gallon out of that. I appreciate there might have been different driving conditions, but it's almost 3 times as much. Now next time someone says to me diesel is dead, I'm going to slap them with this car. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Tell me another joke.
German engineers don't joke with cars.
Right. When the latest E-Class launched back in 2016, Mercedes-Benz dubbed it as the masterpiece in intelligence because of the technology that you got with the vehicle, not to mention some of the safety features as well. And now, 4 years on, it's gone a little smarter. It now has MBUX, which has replaced the standard Lingotronic system, and you can summon her by saying, "Hey Mercedes."
How can I help?
Now MB claimed that it can understand different accents and adjust to you over time. It means you can teach the system who your brother, your mother, your sister, your father, your girlfriend or your boyfriend are by saying, "Hey Mercedes."
How may I help you?
Call my girlfriend.
I'm sorry, I don't know your girlfriend's name yet. Please tell me the name.
Alicia.
I have saved this relation. I am calling Alicia on the mobile phone.
You can be very specific about your commands. "Hey Mercedes."
How can I help?
Turn the temperature to 23 degrees.
The temperature is set to 23 degrees.
Or you can be a little bit more vague. "Hey Mercedes."
How can I help?
It's a little chilly in here.
I'm increasing the temperature to 24 degrees.
It can even tell you the weather. "Hey Mercedes."
How can I help?
Tell me a little bit about the weather.
Currently it is rainy in Pottersbar with a temperature of 7 degrees.
And it doesn't stop there. On the navigational screen here, not only can you see petrol stations, you can also see charging points as well, and it will tell you how many charging points there are and if any of them are vacant or not. So quite handy. That's on top of telling you where there are cash points, where there are parking spaces, golf courses, shopping centres, the weather, tells you the weather. All very intelligent. Now if you're a little bit uncomfortable about speaking to a computer, there are other ways that you can input your commands. You've got the trackpad that you used to find on the outgoing model has been replaced by this sort of touch sensitive controls across the whole section of the steering wheel here, so you can just simply swipe left, right, up, down, or actually push it in as a button. But essentially left side of the steering wheel will control this screen here and the right side will control the screen in front of you. Right guys, so here we are with the brand new 2020 steering wheel from Mercedes-Benz. So I just wanted to quickly show you what it does, how it works, and just basically the layout of the new buttons. There's not much change in the way of the placement of the buttons. So on this side, left hand side, we've got a home button, a back button, and a navigational menu just in the middle here. Okay, and we've got the same thing on the right hand side just here. So the one on the right hand side, as I mentioned before, that controls the screen directly in front of the driver just here. And by just swiping left or right, we can navigate through the different menus. So for example, if we wanted to go into navigation, you simply just press down where it says OK. And then here we are, we can look at previous destinations, we can have a map, or we can go full screen. And then to further customize the screen, you can just swipe to the right, which will highlight this bit here. Eventually, there we go. And then you can again go up and down and navigate through the different options, depending on what you want to see. And it doesn't stop there, you can also move over to the left, over to this side, and again, decide what you want to see. And just below that, we've got the cruise control. So this one here is the cruise control. We've got a limiter, and then this bit here, you can slide upwards or downwards if you want to speed up or slow down. And then you've got a reset, and you've got cancel here as well. And finally on this side, we've got the phone, so you can answer a call by simply just pressing here or end the call from there. And then you've got your volume cradle here, which you can see working away in the background there. So pretty intuitive. And you've got voice command and a favorites button. So this control, which looks identical to this side, basically does everything that we just went through, but for this screen just here. So again, if you press the home button, you'll see your navigation, you'll see your phone, radio, media, comfort, EQ menu, apps, Mercedes Me Store, and settings. Again, just by pressing OK, you can enter the menu and then play around with the different settings, i.e. the ambient lighting. You can also, for the first time, use this screen here because it's all touch screen now. You can swipe, press, gesture, all that kind of stuff. And down here you've got the what looks more like a mouse pad that you get with Apple computers now. So you can swipe left, right, up, down, press it as a button, but you can also handwrite as well, which I don't really find too useful because I'm right-handed, so trying to write with my left hand is hugely awkward, but you can. There you go. Connectivity with these cars is hugely impressive as well. The Mercedes Me app is available for you to download, which means that you can pair yourself with the vehicle. So if you leave a window open, you can close that remotely, you can lock and unlock the doors remotely. It will remind you if you've left your doors unlocked, if you've forgotten to lock it. You can see how much charge you've got, how much fuel you've got, what the mileage is, when the service is due. And the best part of it is that you can preheat your car. Perfect for the winter months. If you know you're going to leave your house at 7 o'clock in the morning, you can set the vehicle to start heating up, including your seats at 1:45. So by the time you get in the car, it's already toasty and defrosted, ready for you to go. And you can do that whilst the car's on charge, so when you get in it, you still got 100% of your charge, so you don't use up any of the battery power heating up the vehicle. It will do it while it's on charge, so when you get into it, you've got 100% battery to get you where you need to go. Also, some additional improvements include a speed alert, which you can set to a desired speed and it will warn you if the car exceeds that. Also, a valet protect, so anytime the ignition is switched on, off, or leaves a certain area, you'll be notified. So I'm up to 34 miles driven and my MPG is now starting to tumble down. I'm at 48.7 MPG. As I mentioned before, I ran out of battery a long time ago now. So right now the car is just a 2-litre petrol E-Class, which weighs almost 2 tons, so I'm not entirely surprised that that is tumbling down. Interestingly, I'll use the word interesting, but I'll let you make your own mind up about that. 47.9. I could achieve considerably more than that in the E220D, which doesn't have any plug-in electric technology. I have achieved over 65 miles to the gallon in an E220. So I think what this does is bring petrol closer to what you would get out of a diesel engine, if that makes sense. Because had this not had any hybrid, I think I would have been in the low 30s in terms of consumption. As I mentioned earlier, the E300e is much more economical than this, which begs the question, why does diesel suddenly have a really bad name? Because for the same amount of fuel I could have done now at 48.7 mpg almost 3 times the distance that I've achieved in this. So technically this would use almost twice, 3 times the amount of fuel. So does that not make this more harmful to the environment because it's churning through more fuel? Can someone explain that to me? What is diesel that much worse for you, for us to breathe in, than petrol? Even though this is putting out 3 times as much. I don't know. Someone explain it to me, please. Comments down below. Explain that to me, because I don't understand. £5 worth of diesel gets my colleague 130, 140 miles. £5 in this gets me less than 50 miles. So I'd have to put 3 times as much fuel. This could be useful for business users because the benefit in kind will be hugely beneficial. And if you don't do a lot of mileage and your trips are fairly local, then a petrol engine would be better. And if your journey is sort of up to 10 miles, 10, 11 miles each way, then you could do sort of between 80 to 100% of your journey on fully electric, in which case this would work perfectly. But I feel that if you're going to do more miles than that, the diesel would work better. It'd give you much better fuel consumption if you're doing sort of 15 to 20 miles each way than an A-Class saloon, perhaps. Even though it's a smaller car, it can achieve a longer distance when it comes to electric range, so consider the A-Class saloon or the CLA. So what advice would I give you if you have made the decision to go plug-in hybrid or electric? So advice number 1, have a look at and get a basic understanding of what a week in your car looks like, i.e. where do you drive, is it the same route 90% of the time, how many miles a day do you actually do? Then once you know that, then you'll have a better understanding in terms of what car works for you. Which brings me on to point number 2. Do your research. Find out what sort of electric or plug-in hybrid vehicle would work best for you. Because you have fully electric cars, you've got diesel hybrids, you've got petrol hybrids, and you've got petrol hybrids that have more electric range, and you have ones that have bigger engines but have less electric range. So just get a better understanding in terms of what's available. The third bit of advice would be to plan your journey. Find out what charging points are available on your route and what charging facilities are available at your destination. Once you know where your charging stations are, then find out who supplies electricity to those points. Then you know whose services to sign up for. Having a charging point at your home is probably the best bit of advice that I can give you. At the time of when this video was published, CHARGEMASTER can come out to your home and install a 7 kilowatt charger for a subsidised fee of £499, which is supplied and fitted if you have off-street parking, i.e. if you have a garage or a driveway. And if you need more advice, I will leave a phone number and an email address to the CHARGEMASTER support team down below in the description box. So if you have any further questions, further information can be found down there. How annoying it is just when you're about to deliver a really important point or get somewhere really important and your battery